The 2024 Democratic National Convention was a stage for many notable speeches, yet one stood out for its sheer audacity. Former Georgia Lieutenant Governor Geoff Duncan, a Republican, took the stage. His presence was unexpected. His message was even more so. Duncan, despite policy differences with Vice President Kamala Harris, urged Republicans to vote for her. His reasoning? Donald Trump. Duncan believes Trump poses a significant threat to the very fabric of the American Republic. Duncan's decision to speak at the DNC was a bold move. It was a public display of his disillusionment with his own party. It was a desperate plea to his fellow Republicans. His presence alone spoke volumes about the deep divisions within the GOP. It highlighted a growing unease with Trump's hold on the party. Duncan didn't hold back in his speech. He didn't mince words. He called out Trump directly. He described the Republican Party as a cult enthralled by a single figure. This wasn't just criticism, it was a scathing indictment of the party's direction. It was a stark warning about the consequences of continuing down this path. Geoff Duncan and Kamala Harris don't agree on everything. They are on opposite sides of the political spectrum. They have different visions for the country. They have different approaches to governance. Yet, Duncan felt compelled to urge Republicans to vote for Harris. Why? Because he believes that Trump is the greater threat. He believes that Trump's re-election would be catastrophic for the nation. Duncan's stance is a testament to the power of principle. It is a rejection of blind party loyalty. It is a recognition that sometimes the greater good requires putting aside partisan differences. Duncan's message is simple but profound. There are times when the health of the republic must supersede party affiliation. Duncan's call to action is a difficult one. It requires Republicans to make a choice. Do they prioritize party unity above all else, or do they heed the warnings of someone who sees Trump as a danger to democracy? It is a question that cuts to the core of what it means to be a responsible citizen. Geoff Duncan sees Donald Trump as a threat to the republic. He is not alone in this assessment. Many Americans, regardless of their political affiliation, share this concern. They see Trump's rhetoric as divisive and dangerous. They see his actions as undermining democratic norms. Duncan points to several factors that contribute to his assessment of Trump. He points to Trump's attacks on the free press. He points to Trump's efforts to undermine the integrity of elections. He points to Trump's willingness to exploit racial and cultural divisions for political gain. Duncan believes that Trump's brand of politics, often referred to as Trumpism, is corrosive to the fabric of American society. He argues that it is based on fear, anger, and resentment. He argues that it thrives on division and distrust. He argues that it undermines the very foundations of a healthy democracy. Section 4. A party divided. The Republican Party is at a crossroads. It is deeply divided over the legacy of Donald Trump. On one side are those who remain fiercely loyal to the former president. They view him as a savior, a strong man who challenged the status quo. They embrace his populist message and his aggressive style. They are willing to overlook his flaws and his excesses. On the other side are those who are deeply troubled by Trump's behavior and his rhetoric. They believe that he has damaged the party's brand and its reputation. They worry that his continued influence will alienate moderate voters and lead to electoral defeat. They long for a return to the party's traditional values of fiscal responsibility, limited government, and individual liberty. Geoff Duncan's speech at the DNC is a symptom of this divide. It is a sign of the growing rift within the party. It is a reminder that the Republican Party is struggling to define itself in the post-Trump era. Section 5. A call for patriotism over partisanship. Geoff Duncan's message to Republicans is simple: put country over party. He urges them to look beyond their partisan allegiances and consider the greater good. He reminds them that their loyalty to the Constitution should supersede their loyalty to any one person or party. Duncan argues that blind partisanship has blinded many Republicans to the dangers of Trumpism. He believes that it has prevented them from holding Trump accountable for his actions. He fears that it will ultimately lead to the party's demise. Section 6. The weight of Duncan's words. Geoff Duncan's speech at the DNC was a watershed moment. It was a rare public display of dissent from within the Republican ranks. It was a powerful indictment of Trumpism and its impact on the party. Whether Duncan's words will have a lasting impact remains to be seen. It is possible that his message will resonate with some Republicans, prompting them to reconsider their support for Trump. It is also possible that his words will be dismissed as the rantings of a disgruntled former official. Only time will tell what the ultimate legacy of Duncan's speech will be. However, one thing is certain, his decision to speak out against Trump at the DNC was an act of both courage and desperation. It was a sign of just how deep the divisions within the Republican Party have become. Section 7. The future of the GOP. The Republican Party is facing an existential crisis. Its future hinges on the choices it makes in the coming months and years. Will it continue to embrace Trumpism, even at the risk of alienating moderate voters? Or will it seek to redefine itself, charting a new course that is more in line with its traditional values? The outcome of this internal struggle will have profound implications for the future of American politics. It will determine whether the Republican Party can remain a viable force in American politics. It will also shape the nature of our political discourse for years to come.